in this life, you can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. Don't go through life, grow through life.
Sometimes the sun may seem to fade away. Don't cry, I promise there'll be better days. I know it gets dark, keep praying for some moonlight. And when things go left, it seems like they won't get right. No, dig deep in your soul and try to make a change. Plant your feet on the ground, you'll never be the same. Feed and water your mind, wisdom will show. And now your seed is sown. That's when it's time to grow. Grow, 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 grow. Understand we have to grow. Grow, 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 grow. In this life we have to grow. Through all the changes, there will be changes. Just try your best to keep your sanity. A dose of reality, yes. You're gonna have to change your mentality, yeah. Deep in your soul and try to make a change. Plant your feet on the ground, you'll never be the same. Feed and water your mind, wisdom will show. And now your seed is sown, and now it's time to grow, 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 grow. Understand we have to grow, grow, grow. In this life we have to grow. Wake up, wake up. Life is not a game. Shape up, shape up. You'll never be the same. Enhancement of your mind, advancement of your life. Get up and go. And just continue to grow. Grow, 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 grow. Understand we have to grow, grow. In this life we have to grow. Blossom, blossom, yeah. Progression, progression, yeah. Expansion, expansion, yeah.
In this life, if you want to succeed, it's an What's going on, everybody? Everybody.
What's up? What's up?
We are Lineage Podcast. We are here Thursday. We are so glad to be here. We're glad you are joining us on this great Thursday once again. It's good. It's gonna be a good show today. It's gonna be a good show today. Y'all know how I do it. Um, if you do not have, I ain't got my copy of the book right here. But if you do not have Selma's Self-Sacrifice, the book is currently on Amazon. Go get the book. It is written by Mrs. Kathy Walters and Mr. Frederick D. Reese. It is a great book. It's a great book, y'all. And I would say what my brother always say, and I know he talking to his people over there. If you want to see the show with the bells and the whistles and all the intricacies and everything, go to YouTube. Go to the YouTube page. And I must say, first of all, we had a great weekend and a great Sunday. It was the 100th anniversary of Ebenezer Baptist Church. What a great service, great weekend. I had a picnic Saturday, and Sunday we had a great service. who brought the word, none other than Mr. Anthony Darrington. We know him as Maintain, pastor from Detroit. It was a great weekend. We saw, you know, it's always good when people come together, when it's not a funeral and things of that nature, when it's not anything tragic that has happened. And being in the building in Ebenezer once again is always good. Seeing my auntie play, seeing my daddy sing, it was a great weekend. Great weekend, and what a great way to end the weekend. Today's show, we wanna, I'll say this. This is called Scenes of Silent Superstars. A lot of the times, especially in our history, and even in our culture sometimes, we must admit, I gotta admit this, we look over the local heroes, for lack of better word. We look over the people that's doing the footwork, that doesn't get the recognition on a national level, on more broader spectrum. We kind of overlook them a little bit. So we want to kind of highlight that, but we're going to do a two-part to Scenes of Silent Superstars. Today we're going to kind of gear towards one part of it, and I'll show a video on what the route we're going to gear on in a minute. But one more thing, if you haven't booked the tour, the FD Reese Historical Tour, you need to do it. Go on FD Reese organization, FDReeseFoundation.org, and book you a tour. Me and my brother will take you around. We'll start at the house and take you around to different parts that Granddaddy impacted, man. So it's a great thing. Go ahead, bro.
What's your favorite part about the tour? What do you like? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With everything that we do, and I believe that everything that we do, it brings a different satisfaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The new music, the tour, the foundation, the podcast. Tell me what stands out about the tour when you're doing a tour. Tell me because I know the people like to know that. What are they going to get different than what they get from reading a book or doing the podcast? What do they get from you?
Well, yeah. Well, one thing that we have heard, and we have good reviews. It's an unorthodox tour. One thing I will say is it's not a tour that you say. I know many of us have been on a tour where you go around and you may drive around and say, okay, you'll drive by 10 miles per hour. Well, this is this and this is that. What I will say on this tour, and what is intriguing to me is everyone that has came to our tour and booked it, they are at awe at the first, before we go on any stops, before we take them to the courthouse, to RB Husband, before we take them to Clark, before we go anywhere, they are already at awe when we start at the house. So my favorite part of the tour, not only is the reactions, but because we have, and I know I can speak for you in this, we don't take it lightly.
Oh, we don't.
We have major parts and substantial evidence of the voting rights movement that is not taught at all.
That's right.
I don't care what you've heard. You ain't heard nothing like you do on the FD Reese Historical Tour. You haven't heard it all. I don't care what you heard. You haven't heard it all. So
one thing
go ahead, bro.
About the tour, man, is it's almost like a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Facts.
It's a surreal moment that they're able to walk in the house and really be able to walk back in time.
Right.
And when I'm explaining to them, I know when I'm up in front of them, and I'm explaining to them, you know, the things my grandfather did, and giving dates, factually, because you know, math is absolute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shady ground in math.
Right.
So giving dates and things like in that nature, man, and to see the look on their faces.
Correct.
And then what else gets me is the look on their face when we're so bold about the truth.
Hey, man.
Because some people expect for us not to say, for like Snick, John Lewis, who did not want Dr. King himself.
Yeah.
It's almost like,
Yeah.
How could you say that?
Yeah. Or when I've said every time, if it weren't for FD Reese, what you've said, FD Reese solidified Martin Luther King's legacy. He really did.
Solidified his legacy.
And when you say bold statements like that, you're gonna get some backlash.
It's almost like I dare you, but then when we break it down,
yeah,
when they leave, they say, "I see why."
I see why. Right.
Because at first it looked like, how could these young men say this? But once we break it down, dates and talk about when Smith came and when Dr. King came and what happened, and then Belsenman and the Teachers March and Bronx Chapel Boone and FD Reese and all this, when we break it down, it's almost like, okay, I see why these young men are saying what they're saying on this tour, man. And then another thing to be able to get in the car, and what I do, I love doing this about the tour. I love taking them through selling. See,
there you go.
We're not in selling for a photo op. See, I love taking them through and let their car hit the holes in the road.
Yeah, let it hit it.
You know, them potholes out there, and take them around the neighborhoods where you know it needs to be, you know, uplifted and revitalized and restructured.
All of that.
And remodeled.
Right.
And they always look around like, what happened? I say, see, when these folks come down for these photo ops, the reason they stop at the bridge is because they don't want you to see the truth, because they have not done right by self.
Correct.
So man, and it's just a joyful thing to be able to do that, so they can go to their family and their neighborhoods and their churches, and they can speak truth, man.
Right, and that it segues into why it's scenes of silent superstars, because one thing that what I love about it is when people search out for answers and they get it. I love that. So I love to be in a position where I'm able to give them certain things that they would never hear in their life before. And then on the not on the flip side, but add to it, they're gonna remember that for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm glad to be a part of that.
That's right.
I'm glad to be a part of that. So it's a lot of things I like about the tour, but you know that.
You got to get the tour. I'm telling y'all. Us saying it does not do.
It don't do no justice. It don't.
You know what? We have. You go on the website and see our review. We got one review because of mistake. We did not see the email that we had a tour and said.
Yeah.
And that's the only
bad review
we have. The rest of them is 5 stars.
Right.
No one has ever had our tour and gave us a 4.
Right.
All of them been 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So bring your kids, man, your family, your grandmothers, aunties, and uncles, and your friends, and your churches, your schools, whatever, man, and do this tour, man. I guarantee that you will not be disappointed.
Yes. Now first we're gonna get to nurse. What I call the first nurse of the Lineage Podcast. We're gonna bring Miss Kimberly Reese on in a minute, because we don't want to get too far. You know, me and brother get to talking, it'll go all day. So we're gonna bring her in. You know, she got to help us with our health. Now, I said it last week, Black men, we really got to listen, because we are, if we not last, we second to last or third to last. I don't know, but we somewhere in the bottom of the barrel when it comes to taking care of our health. So we're talking about the scenes of silent superstars, but first nurse gonna come in and I don't want to give away what she gonna do, but it's the word silence is in here too. So we don't need to be silent about this. She's gonna help us hear this and take toll of this. So we're gonna bring her up in a minute. But what did I say? I said the book, Hisron Apparel. We're getting that together. That is under construction right now. We got some issues with not our creators, but the people that print it. So we're gonna have to get that under control. So we appreciate y'all patience with everything that we're doing, and we're gonna bring the first nurse, Kimberly Reese, in here, and she's gonna tell us. She's gonna give us pretty much the health tip of the week. So I know y'all don't want to keep seeing my big head, so we're gonna go and bring her in, put some shine on the podcast, and welcome Miss Kimberly Reese here.
Hello, how you guys doing? Hello everyone, blessed to be here again.
On back in here. The silent killer.
I talked about it last week.
Silent killer. High blood pressure.
You can't tell me.
Appreciate it. High blood pressure.
Yep, that's right. The silent because, of course, in the Black community, we need our sisters and brothers, healthy men and women, to be around for longer times to give good examples. And particularly our Black men, we need them around to teach generational wisdom.
Ooh, yeah, you're
Yes.
right. You're right. You're right.
And how do you expect for us to have that wisdom if we can't, if we're destroyed by heart attacks and strokes? So that's why I feel the need of talking about this topic.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
I believe that generational health is just as important as generational wealth. If you're healthy, you can live long to enjoy your wealth. What is it to be wealthy and you're not healthy?
Facts.
In the hospital bed.
Right.
Get up.
Right.
I took care of a lot of people, rich, poor, and the common factor. If you can't take care of yourself, you're useless.
That's true.
I don't care what kind of car you got.
That's true.
What kind of house you got. If you cannot get out of the bed and enjoy those things, what's the purpose?
Facts.
So
I agree.
with that being said, I'm going to talk about the first. I'm going to discuss the first signs and symptoms of a heart attack.
Okay.
MJ, you gonna pull up that picture for me?
Oh yeah, let's pull up the picture for you.
For both men and women is chest pain, as you see. But women may experience less obvious warning signs. Both men and women may experience nausea or vomiting. As you see on this side, women may experience jaw, neck, or upper back pain, chest pain, but the chest pain is not always present. Pain or pressure in lower chest or upper abdomen, shortness of breath, fainting, indigestion, and extreme fatigue. On the other hand, men, they also experience jaw, neck, or back pain, squeezing chest pressure or pain, shortness of breath. If an individual has no contraindication of taking aspirin, experts such as Mayo Clinic recommends taking aspirin during a heart attack while waiting on the ambulance or en route to the ER, to your local hospital. Medical news today states that a person can take between 160 to 325 milligrams of aspirin during a heart attack. And this is because the aspirin works as an anti-clotting factor or agent, which allows your blood to flow more easily while seeking further medical help to take care of the blockage. A healthcare professional may also prescribe a daily dose of aspirin to prevent heart attacks. The dose can range between 75 to 100 milligrams of aspirin daily. So now we are going to discuss the signs and symptoms of stroke. As you know, I had experience in neuro ICU, and the most common stroke that we witness is called the ischemic stroke, and I have a picture of that as well.
All right, let's go roll.
As you see, the ischemic stroke, this is the most common stroke. This type of stroke is usually caused by blood clots that blocks the blood flow of the brain. And as you see, that gray matter, that's representation of dead tissue dying because it's a clot. The head. Blood.
So dead tissue dying in the brain.
That's that gray matter.
Yes. Okay.
It's dead tissue that's representing that's not getting the circulation in the brain.
Gotcha.
Remember we talked about the water holes and last week with the garden hose is representation of the vessel.
Right.
And the water is
It's the blood. Right.
So imagine a kink in the garden hose. That's what's going
Oh,
on
like
with
when,
the clock. And the water is not circulating.
okay.
It's not circulating that area, and that's what's causing stroke.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
bad.
just a visual aid that'll help you out more.
Okay.
A less common type of stroke is called the hemorrhagic stroke,
That's
and
good.
and you can bring up that picture right there. This
Okay.
is when the blood vessels actually rupture. So imagine the garden hose. You're washing your car, and then it's a hole in the actual garden hose, and the water spews out.
And to spew out the hole, the side of the hole.
That's
Yeah.
what's going on in your vessels.
Get out of here.
Yes, and then it's leaking into the tissues, and then you pretty much have a brain bleed. That's the most deadliest type of stroke.
What dang shit.
Yes, so it's very serious.
Mm.
As you see, intracranial hemorrhagic is the most disabling and deadly form of strokes. 15% of acute strokes are hemorrhagic strokes, which are caused by an acute hemorrhage.
Mm.
So hemorrhage is pretty much standing for bleeding.
Yeah.
Brain.
Okay.
When you think of stroke, you want to think of the acronym. You want to be fast and call 911 first of all, but also think of the acronym Be Fast. Literally, Be Fast. BEFAST. B stands for balance. I also have another picture. You can go and with the Be Fast acronym.
Okay.
It stands for balance. You want to ask the person or assess to see if the person is losing his or her balance. If they're having difficulty walking, if one side they can't pick up their leg or arm, that's indication of stroke. Also the E, which is the eyes. The eyes, you're gonna ask the person if they're having trouble seeing out of one or both eyes. That's an indication of stroke. And then the F stands for face. You're gonna ask the person to smile. If one side of the face is drooping, that's indication of stroke. Or even like their jaw or eyes, it has a drooping effect. That's a sign of stroke. And then your arms, you're going to ask the person to hold their arms up or out. If they're having difficulties holding their arms out or up or can't lift one arm, that's indication of stroke. And speech, you're going to ask the person to repeat a sentence. If the word sounds slurred or garbled, that's indication of stroke. Also, the last but not least is time. Remember, you want to get to the hospital as soon as possible because time is brain. If someone is showing any of these symptoms, call 911 and get them to the hospital as soon as possible because the more time you're losing, the more brain cells the brain cells are dying. So that's very important to get them to the hospital ASAP. I can go back and from my experience, I've seen a particular
That's what I'm talking about. We appreciate the first nurse, Miss Kimberly Reese. Listen, y'all take that serious, okay? Take that serious. Like I said, especially us black men, man, we have a problem with that, with our stroke and things of that nature, man. With our heart, our brain, we got to take that serious. So it's all good. We're gonna go on the commercial. Then when me and brother come back, we're gonna ask a question. Is it finally time? Is it time for us to start policing our own community? We're going to show you a video of what happened in Columbus, Ohio. Then we're going to discuss it, man. So let's get to it, and we'll be right back.
I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed that we were going to march.
Nice.
We'll stand strong. Where we belong. It's not about yourself.
First of all, serving notice on our nation. It's Dr. Frederick Douglass Reese.
We march. We march. We march. Right to march.
He said, what shall we do? I said, we are going back. He said, Yeah.
We are back. We are back. We are back.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all staying with us. Go ahead, bro.
You know, I appreciate Nurse Kim, man, her health tips, man. You know, I really want us to take those tips seriously. You know, and I got to put her on, you know, her work history out there, man. You know, she's second to none. You know, Nurse Kim is an MP. She's worked from ICU to neuro to med surg. She's in the study of stem cells now. She's working in the prison unit. She's well rounded in what she's talking about. So, you know, I just want to let y'all know, man, give y'all her background that, you know, she's the show enough.
Yeah, she the real deal. She legit.
Real deal. So,
Yeah.
and you know, and she has done the studying and she has the education behind what she's talking about.
There you go.
So since she's well rounded in all those areas about the body, I would advise y'all to take her seriously on the things that she talks about, man. And look, man, she does consulting work. Her website is under construction right now. And if you have any questions about, you know, what your doctor said, if you're feeling uneasy, man, hey, hit her up in her instant messenger. I'm sure she'll answer any question that you have for her. You know?
Keep talking.
You know, that's just what it is. You know, I just wanted to put it out there, you know, and make sure people knew that, you know, she just ain't a nurse just trying to just say some things, man. She's well rounded, you know. She's worked in the trauma unit everywhere. So, man, take it seriously.
She's seen it all.
She's seen it all.
Okay, let's talk about scenes of silent superstars, man. We talking about the community. Kind of two part. We're gonna do two parts on this. One, we you know, we talk about Granddaddy. He's the epitome of let me say we sound too low. He is the epitome of a silent superstar. So we gotta give our people our just due, man. Give them their just due. So we gotta do that. We're gonna try to bring it up a little bit, mama, just a little bit. We gotta give our people our just due. We're talking about the community. And do you think, hit me in the comments, man, do you think we overlook our community stars, our local stars? Is a lot of people, the work that they do, the work that they do, they is overlooked. I know a lot of coaches and a lot that had impacts in their life that are overlooked, and you know, a lot of the times we just pay attention to the national things, and I
would say this, I think that's where we fall short, because the national movement will kidnap the local movement and cripple it and weaken it.
Correct.
And that's what we see what happened with the voting rights movement, man. the voting rights movement, the mindset of the voting rights movement was kidnapped from it being taught from a perspective of this can make local change that can eventually swell.
Uh-huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Martin Luther King and Smith came to assist to the Dallas County Voters League local voting registry.
Get that on, get that word out
let's
there.
look at that word local.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did when they was educating people on how our mayor, our county commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
our city council, these different individuals can bring about local change that we can see in our local community.
Right.
But what happened was because they could not, because in those racist states, well, a lot of states are racist.
Yeah.
What was happening is that they would keep them from being able to vote. So they had to put the federal government in charge of the voting.
You still low. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100% right.
They had to put the federal government in charge of voting. So since they did that, what happened? We didn't educate. We say, man, we president of us. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how many people, I mean, just being outside of food and inflation and things going up in the civil unrest, who really saw detrimental change in their local community so far between President Trump and President Biden? I'm talking when you talk about the potholes in your community.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? When you talk about the abandoned buildings in your community,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about that, when you talk about the school system and you're talking about what the school system doing and what they're implementing, who's seen a big change?
Right.
Because what we do, we forget about how important the local elections are, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When the local elections will be more detrimental to me than the president election.
Facts.
In the federal.
Facts.
And when I mean local, I mean governor, state senator.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
State senate,
Mm-hmm.
city council, county commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
mayor.
Mm-hmm.
These people make a difference in your daily life.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
Correct. They'll make more of a direct impact to you.
All day.
Yeah. And you
All
know,
day.
shows like this, when we do shows like this, you know, it ain't quote unquote sexy. It's not gonna get the most views, but we don't care about that. Just to be honest, we really don't. But we care more about the information and the conversation as well rounded. We just not gonna share our opinions or knowledge that we may have, or have conversations with you guys about relationships and things of that nature all the time, or about granddaddy. We always gonna tie it into granddaddy because that's our lineage, that's our legacy. But at the same time,
That's right.
conversations like these are what needs to happen more frequently. I will say about your local community, because it may get things turning, and you may want to do some actions. You may want to go to a couple of community meetings and things of that nature. When you may start looking at, you know what, he might be right about them potholes. I drive over this pothole every day I go to work, and there it is. There you go. There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Let me see what I did one time.
Mm-hmm.
I probably was wrong.
Okay.
I don't say I was wrong, but you know, sometimes I might put a little race in a lot of things that I do.
Okay.
You know, I see the division in race. When the DeKalb County first got those green trash cans, remember that?
Yes.
When they sent the notice out and they told us we would not be picking up picking up from the regular trash cans. We're gonna send you
Right.
A county issue trash can.
Correct.
And you can get one that's 55 gallon drum, and you can
Right.
get one that's 95.
Correct.
Okay. So they said, okay, they're gonna send them out.
Mm-hmm.
One day I was taking my wife to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving over there by Emory. And a lot of people don't realize when you go over there by Emory,
Mhm.
on Clifton Road, that's the DeKalb County.
It still is. Correct.
But it's a majority of white area.
Correct.
And I looked around
Uh-huh.
and I saw that community had the trash cans and they wasn't touching our community. You know what I did? I got on the phone.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that the predominantly white area has their trash can?
Correct.
But when you come to our area, we don't have our trash can. What's
Yeah.
up with that?
Yeah.
Oh, Jay, man, next week I looked up, but they were putting our trash.
They put them out there. See, and you know what? It's crazy. I had a conversation with my wife. Just to be honest, y'all, letting y'all know we just don't get on here, and this is not a show. These are conversations we have amongst ourselves on a daily, weekly basis. I was talking to my wife, and I was talking about, man, you know what? One thing I do notice, and I've heard this before throughout life, that when I do drive around different areas, and I see it's a restaurant called Kale Me Crazy.
Okay.
And you go in there, and you know a restaurant you went to today, the salad restaurant. So, yeah. Those type of restaurants are in certain type of neighborhoods and in certain type of communities.
That's right.
And when we talking about the health despair,
That's right.
right? You look at those type of restaurants that are in those neighborhoods, and then when you come to the predominantly black
That's right.
neighborhood, you see more liquor stores and fast food restaurants. But then over there you see more of the vegan restaurants, the more of the vegetarian, the vegetarian delights and the things of that nature.
It's nice.
Right.
And it's just one in a 5-mile radius.
You get what I'm saying?
But can I elaborate?
Go ahead.
I can talk about this one.
Right. I know.
I can talk about this.
I know.
Because one thing now in the black community, in our community, we see more churches than liquor stores. You got more churches in the community. Every corner you hit, you got a church, because a lot of people say God told me to start this church. And we talk about mental illness, but guess what? When you know the liquor stores, they have to get their liquor license.
The facts.
Now, I ain't got nothing wrong with the liquor store. But when I can drive down Flat Shows and Kimmel Road and I can see 7 to 8 of them, I have an issue with that. When I have a church, there's just as many liquor stores or more on that same road. We say we want to fight mental illness. How we trying to fight mental illness? How? Really?
Right.
When the people that vote, now these churches allow these elected officials to come inside the church.
Correct.
And you say that you want to fight mental illness. If I was a pastor, when they come to the church, we're going to ask you some questions. We are not voting for you if you want to continue to allow all these liquor stores to be in the community. Look, people not against you going to get your drink.
Not against it.
Go get them.
Go get it.
But what I'm saying is that how you going to fight something that's so easy accessible? So are we really trying to fight it? And we still vote for the same officials. I don't care black or white. I don't care what it is.
Right.
We still vote for the same officials who are allowing the same things to get passed. If it's liquor stores, it's Dollar General, Family Dollar, I'm tired of seeing. It's just like our Boulder Crest. My next thing, I said I want to start a petition to get rid of the pilot on Boulder Crest. Because the pilot on Boulder Crest makes the Boulder Crest infected. Because you have prostitutes and truck drivers, they come up, they get these prostitutes going out there to give them sexual attention on the back, and it's causing a lot of, when you have prostitution, you have drugs. When you have drugs, you have crime.
And then guess what? No type of business is gonna want to deal in the area.
Who want to go? I would.
Right. Who gonna want to put?
Who gonna want to go?
Put it in that area. Okay,
So-
Trish said Alan needs to get closer to the mic. That was at 750. Might want to, if you want to bring it up a little bit, bro, that might happen. And then Trish now said all those gas stations got gambling machines in them now. That's true.
That's right.
That's true, Trish. 100%. And Jeff said 100. 100% right.
So when are we gonna truly bring about change? When is we gonna really vote? When are we really gonna vote for someone who have our best interests?
Right.
And stop putting these people in office that because they're popular. That's what's wrong with a lot of us black folks. We vote popularity.
We really do. Popularity contest.
Popularity contest, bro.
Yeah. We like I said, we need to start saying, we need to get to the point. What are you gonna do? I don't want to hear what you're gonna do for minorities. I don't want to hear that.
We're gonna do for black people.
What you gonna do for black people? You wanna know who black people? Check this melanin out, and then
And I would say this, in my other minority group, if you have a problem with us saying this, shame on you and go learn your history before you come to America.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't be in America, but understand that you are prosperous. I don't care if you're from the Caribbean. I don't care if you're from same. I don't care where you from.
Mhm.
You benefit from the minority laws that have been passed because of black people, and black people have got the short end of the stick.
Facts. 100%.
So if you got something bad to say about me saying what you're gonna do something for black people, go and crawl up on a rock.
Yeah, all day. Because we need to start. The problem is we're being too inclusive.
That's right.
We need to start being exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start being. It's about us. You know, everybody getting theirs,
They've been getting.
and then when it's time to get ours, it's silence.
It's a shame that other ethnic groups, other minorities come over here and they talk about black people.
Mhm.
Well, you got to understand the reason your family got where they are because it's laws and it's money that's available.
Things set in place. Mhm.
Because of the struggles of black folks.
Facts.
Best
Facts.
believe the reason you can go get a job in a place that you want baby go get a job 30 years ago, 40 years ago, is because some black folks fought for it and struggled and got beat and hurt behind for us to get a job. So what they did, instead of saying we just gonna hire black folks, they're gonna hire minorities.
Go hire minorities.
So
that means they
let's
can
be real.
hire a Hispanic, Mexican, you
That's
know.
right.
So and then what it does, it decreases our
That's
possibility.
right. You thought about everybody. And
Nah.
I think we don't get me wrong. I understand when they passed these laws about including minorities. I understand where they were coming from.
Yeah.
But they gave us a short enough stick.
Right.
They laughed and said, "Okay, we're gonna include minorities."
Yeah.
Then what we've done, we made it so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We made it so it's so much pressure. You just come to a point that you almost can't do black people right. So now it's time for black people to say, you know what, I'm gonna pull myself out of minority
There you go.
conversation. I want us to pass laws for black people. Just like reparations, we'll never get reparations because how the laws are worded. Because they always talk about minorities.
Yep.
We'll never get it.
Yeah. Tristan AOC said white women are considered minorities.
They are.
Point blank.
They are.
That's a good point.
But see, what the white woman did, and I say this, in history showed this, the white woman became a minority because they understood what technology and what this world was going.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get in the job. So they understood inflation.
Mm-hmm.
They understood all this is coming. They understood that not only they gonna have to start having black people, they got to help these people. They understood the wording of America. Anybody come over here and have the American dream.
Right.
So hold on, we got to separate ourselves.
Correct.
As far as person-wise from the
Correct.
white man.
Correct.
And then become that first minority, because
Yes.
white one is the first minority, but we're gonna take that wealth back into the home.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm about to say, bro.
We're gonna take that wealth.
It
back
was
into
a
the home.
chess move.
Yeah, chess
It's
move.
a chess move.
But what we do,
Mm-hmm.
because the civil rights movement, if you want to look at the affirmative action, was really for the black man.
For the black man. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How they always do.
Right. There you
But
go.
then they double tricked us because not only did they trick us from the affirmative action of being the first minority, they turned around and tricked the black woman to keep the black man out of the home. So then you turn around and the black woman chose independence.
We're not for listen. It's gonna be another show.
I know
We
it's
go
gonna be another show.
right. We get right. I know. We ain't gonna get in that this week.
Independence. That's just the truth.
That's
I don't
facts,
care how
man.
they got to the point.
That's
It's just
facts.
the black man fought this and that.
Right.
They got
Facts.
independence.
Facts.
And then what the government said, okay, since you're independent, but they're really not, because guess what? They get government help. So the government is the daddy. The government is the head of the
The
home.
government has taken place. The
Of the
government.
black man.
Come on, bro. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Watch this. Tristan said, I ain't seen one Latino-based organization that ever says black and brown.
Nope.
100%. He said, Alan preaching. Mrs. My Dream World said a white co-worker actually approached me with her concerns of being a minority in the department. And I'm looking at her like, what? I probably was looking at her the same way.
Well, I want to always say, because we got to remember we have an ignorant generation of white people. The young white people today, probably about 25 and younger,
Yeah, they
are
get
not as ignorant as the ones
facts.
that 30, between 30 and 60.
That's facts. Yeah, they get, you know, yeah,
You
because
get what I'm saying?
because that generation now, the younger generation,
They're learning.
they got black friends. They like, hold up,
Now, I wonder what they're going to do 30 years from now.
right?
when they
Then
get
that'll
into
certain
the
position.
certain
Yeah,
positions
yeah, 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 yeah,
politically.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder if all this what they talking about now with
Right.
Black Lives Matter.
Right,
You
and
know,
all that. Right,
I
right,
know Black Lives Matter somewhat a scam, but
right,
we ain't gonna go
right,
there.
right. That's another show. Yeah.
That's another show. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is just from being educated from that standpoint. What are you gonna do 30 years from now?
Right. Are you because what's happening is the younger generation of our white brothers and sisters, they are there now. What's happening is the black younger people, so the generation above their mother, father has a little bit more wealth. So what's
Mhm.
happening is some of them are intermingling with the white community.
Right.
So what's happening, they're growing up and going to school with
Mhm.
Marcus.
That's right.
And then
They're like, no,
they're like, hold up, Marcus is not bad. Like
That's right.
all what you've been telling me. So
That's right.
they're kind of challenging their parents a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what you're saying is it's
That's
facts,
right.
because what are you gonna do? Is your heart and your head gonna still be in the same
Same
place
place.
when you
Because-
start climbing that
Because
ladder?
you're giving us some content 10 years from now.
Right. Where you
They're
at?
gonna be in the house,
Right.
in the Senate,
Where you at?
president.
Where you
So,
at?
what we saw with Black when George Floyd got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and you had all those young white folks out there marching.
Facts.
Is that gonna be evident when laws are being passed
Right.
10, 15 years from now?
Right.
I want to see.
Yeah.
And I know
I
I'm
want to see
gonna
that.
live
Yeah.
to see
I'm
it.
gonna live to see that.
And if you're out here and you're not doing right, we got all the pictures,
Mhm.
all the photos, all the videos.
You sound
what we
like
talking.
you sound like Suge Knight.
You know what
You
I'm
want to
saying?
be all in the video.
Yeah, all
all
in the
that.
video. We got all this evidence.
Uh-huh.
So why Black folks ain't got reparations? Why police reform 10, 15 years from now? Why police reform ain't happening?
Well, you know, reparations is gonna be a little different, man, because the one thing they do see is that we are in our mindset is our mindset is evolving. So they know if let's be honest, they give Black people some reparations. It's gonna be some Black people some pookies that just gonna mess it up.
They should.
But then
if they were smart.
it's gonna be some people that's gonna come together and make some shape for real.
See, they're gonna say, "No, we should have gave reparations 92."
You see, that's what I'm saying. They
They're
should.
gonna look back because our generation different.
Right,
We don't believe. We believe in assets and not liabilities.
right,
It's just like us. You got car on tour.
right.
We got a free house. We don't live. We got an Airbnb.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We understand liabilities and assets that
Mhm.
the generation before us didn't teach, knew it. It's
Right.
some cats out there knew it, but didn't teach it like
Yeah.
we teach it today.
Correct.
So we'll take that reparation money instead of going to buy 24, 26,
Yeah.
spend 100, 200,000.
Right.
We're going to put this in we're going to put it in crypto,
Right.
NFTs, and real estate.
Right.
And see, this is why they don't want to
They don't want to.
talk about it, because it's a different generation of Black people.
Right.
out here.
Right.
Young folks.
Point blank.
And see, what happens is all you got to do is you ain't got to teach everybody the visuals.
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram, you see
Yeah.
how people move.
Right.
Now, hold on. I can move like
I
them.
can move like it, yeah.
I could be free too.
Right.
The days of working there for a job 30 years are over with.
Mm-hmm.
Over with.
Let's roll into this since we're talking about the community and scenes of silence partner. Now let's
Yes,
ask
sir.
this. We saw this happen in Columbus,
about it.
Ohio a couple of days ago.
Mhm.
Well, it was yesterday, I think. And he died Tuesday.
Mhm.
This young man is 20-year-old now. I'm sure some people seen it on. If you haven't seen it on social media, you probably been on the rock somewhere. But the body camera actually showed the Columbus, Ohio police officer fatally shooting an unarmed 20-year-old Black man. Let me read his name: Donovan Lewis, 20 years old, died Tuesday after being shot by Columbus officer Ricky Anderson, a 30-year veteran. Now, mind you, this police officer has been in the force for 30 years.
30 years.
I want you to understand something now.
Mhm.
For 30 years, with the Columbus Division of Police assigned to the K9 unit, according to police statement. Shooting is under investigation by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and Anderson is currently on leave. Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryan said at a news conference Tuesday, CNN has attempted to reach Anderson for comment and also reached out to the Fraternal Order of Police. The shooting happened around 2 a.m. Tuesday at an apartment building where uniformed officers were serving a felony warrant for domestic violence and assault and improper handling of a firearm. Bryan said that the news conference, a news release by police indicated the male who was shot, later identified as Lewis, as the person sought in the felony warrant. So I'll ask this question since we have this on display, and this happens frequently. Is it time for us to start policing our own community? Is it time for us to start policing our own community?
Well, can I speak on that?
Go ahead, bro.
Well, I would say this. I think it's time for us to put a mile radius on how far we police in our community.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, it's not fair that a police officer who works in Atlanta can go live in Cummings, Georgia. I don't think you could be a police officer in DeKalb County and stay in Kennesaw. I don't think you could be a police officer in DeKalb County. I believe you could be a police officer in DeKalb County and stay in Forest Park.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't think you should be able to police and get in your car and drive 30, 40, 50 miles away.
Okay.
And go and stay in your home. I think you should stay no more than 15 to 10 miles from where you police.
Yeah.
Because it's a certain amount of accountability that needs to go with you, so you'll know that I can be touched when I act in manners like this. So they have too much peace, bro. You get what I'm saying? We're giving them too much peace.
Facts.
And that has to change.
And I will say that will also help you to know your community.
That's right.
Because if I police in the community I live in, that means if it is some sort of a domestic violence situation, I know, oh, that's Mr. and Miss Smith. I know them. They go to my church. Let me see if I can, I done talked to them before. Let me see if I can go handle it. Or if you know the 20-year-old man, 20-year-old boy, oh, I know him. He just graduated high school with my daughter a few years ago. Let me go holler at him and see. Yeah, exactly.
Like I feel like a pastor shouldn't pass a church that he can't live in that community. How you go past a church in the hood, but you can't stay in it? But you get in your car and you drive 30, 40, 50 miles because you don't want to live around the people. I disagree with that. The reason I said I saw my grandfather. Matter of fact, I was at Ebenezer Sunday. Guess what? I walked from the house
to the church
and walked to the church. You know, that's how close he stayed.
Right.
He walked from the church to the house.
Right.
He's in this community that he's saying that he's preaching to, and he want to change.
That's big fact.
Why these officers and pastors, but I'm talking about the officers right now, why they're able to police and lead their community and lead the community they policing in and being all forced with being Debo. Debo in their community,
right?
Then going and staying 30, 40, 50 miles.
Yeah, because if they knew it was going to be not only repercussions and consequences on their job, but potentially by the decisions they make can cause some sweat in their home personal life.
That's right.
Then maybe their actions might be a little different. Yeah, I'm with that.
It's a shame.
I'm with that. You're right. So they need if you was to go apply in DeKalb County, then yeah, I agree with that. You need to have a radius of miles
where you stay.
Where you stay at.
You put your address on your job application. I feel like if you stay in DeKalb County, on Memorial Drive, if you go fill out your application on Memorial Drive, you shouldn't live no further than more.
Yeah. On
the bottom and no further than Tucker on the top.
On the top, right.
Simple as that,
right. Tristan said, yeah, Alan, some of us, he was talking about the reparation, some of us will F the money off. They scared of us that wouldn't do that. And Miss My Dream World said she agreed. I think she's talking about with the police about the radius. Yeah, man, you something has to change. We all know that.
Some got to change, bro.
Some got to change, man.
Some got to change.
Either they got to change that, or guess what's gonna happen? Some folks gonna have to say eye for an eye.
2 for 2.
It might have to get there. Silence. There's scenes of silent superstars. We might need some silent superstars with some silencers. You know what I'm saying?
When you talk about that, they want to say you're talking hate.
That ain't hate.
That ain't hate.
Survival. What? Yeah. Okay, it gets to a point then. Anybody, when your back is against the wall, man,
what you gonna do?
And it's time to survive.
What you gonna do?
It's time to survive.
That's right. They ain't no hate. That's what I'm saying. Black folks, I'm telling you now, stop being a part of the conversation between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. say, I retired from that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being a part of the conversation who the GOAT, Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop putting our mindset, allowing them to separate the mindset. How about we recognize and study both and take from both and say, man, I can have a little Jordan game and I can have some LeBron game to be a complete player.
Right.
Both of them are great.
Right.
But we'll sit here and not talk to our brother because
Good.
he agree with Michael Jordan GOAT and I agree with LeBron.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Right.
Just like with Martin King and Malcolm X, I feel like both mindsets is needed to be successful.
Yes, sir.
Simple as
Because
that.
I found myself in both mindsets in different situations.
That's right.
Sometimes I had to be Malcolm,
Got to.
and sometimes I had to be Martin and be a little bit more strategic and it takes both.
It ta- you know, and
It
again,
takes
this is the reason why America hated when you can never take away the legacy of John Lewis. During his time, he felt like this is the way he should have done things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna play Monday morning quarterback on John Lewis's legacy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Anybody, you can play Monday morning quarterback on FB legacy, Martin King legacy, even Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is this is the reason why they hated when John Lewis passed. This is why they continue to go get Al Sharpton. This is why they won't let Jesse Jackson rest
Mm-hmm.
in his latter years
Mm-hmm.
because they are afraid of our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of our mindset because they know that we are mixed breeds. We're not all the way
Right.
nonviolent, and we're
Right.
not all the way just straight violence. They know
Mhm.
we ride that line that is needed.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is why CNN won't hit up none of the young activists.
They're gonna call Al Sharpton.
They're called Jesse. Jesse need to rest.
Yeah.
He's done his part. They won't let him rest.
Right.
Because guess what? We need you to keep saying what we need for what we need for you to keep saying to keep the people at bay.
Mm-hmm.
Because this generation behind them, these young people, men and women are something different. And that's why it has to change.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
100% agree.
That's what has to change, bro.
100% agree. 100% agree. 100% agree.
You know?
Can't we it has to change, man. It has to change. And from a smaller scale to a bigger scale. But I think if we start working on the smaller things, it'll swell up and get to the national level. The problem is we be so concerned on the national level.
We're not worried about local.
Not a word.
And I think another thing that I think officers need to go. I looked at pastors. I always said a pastor in the black community, you cannot be a pastor and say you're not an activist. I'm sorry. Those two things goes hand in hand in the black community. That's just real talk because black people have never, ever, nowhere in history, just have had the ability just to go to church and worship God and be free in civilization. None.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you go to Black Wall Street, look who burned it down. White folks, racist white folks in the government.
Mm-hmm.
Them people, even when they built their own communities,
Mm-hmm.
they could not be at peace with it fully,
Mm-hmm.
like the white people have been
Mhm.
able to.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to church and really worship God, and that's it. We always had to use church as a place to raise up a mindset that would bring about change in our community.
Right.
Now I'm looking at officers in the same way. You cannot go be an officer in today's time and not be a type of activist of a person that think about your community first. So when you in the meetings have shift change. You need to be talking to your commanders and your sergeant about how we treat these black people in the community that y'all done villainized all these years.
Facts, man. 100%.
I'm looking at the black police officers like that now. You can't
Facts.
just go there and just be 100% police officer about the law because
Right.
guess what? The law see color.
Mm-hmm.
Not the law on paper, but the people who enforce the law
Mhm.
see color,
They
and
do.
they have a mindset. They have been given all their years since they were small in elementary
Mhm.
school who black people are, and
Mhm.
especially the ones in the neighborhoods that they are patrolling.
Right. 100%. So that's why you have an incident like this, because the mindset that they have of the image of the black especially the black young man too, um, it's they trigger happy because they're afraid.
Afraid,
How you
bro.
been in the how you been in the department 30 years, Allen? It's just like I've been singing since I was 5, but I'll say in front of people since I was probably 10, I'll go 10, 11, 12. Let's go 12. So I've been singing for some odd of 20 some years.
Mhm.
That's like me getting up in front of somebody and you get on the piano
Mhm.
and I sing the whole song in the
In
wrong
the
key.
wrong key. Come on, bro. Hold on. And then it's like me. Hold on, I'm your partner. This how the other officers is. And I sit there and play the song and I try to give you the right key. Like, bro, sing something. I'm gonna hum something to put you on the right key. I didn't hear an officer say, man, why you do that? Everybody was quiet. Everyone. So you just as guilty. So
It's that
from my
cold
understanding, that was in
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. I bet you those officers who did that does not stay in Columbus, Ohio.
Guarantee they don't.
They stay in the metro area.
Guarantee they don't. Guarantee you.
Guarantee it, bro.
Yeah. Has to change.
But see, when we vote, I ain't talking about the president. I don't care nothing about because Joe Biden sleep right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's knocked out. He don't have
Sleep.
He knocked out.
So he just ain't sleep.
I don't care who don't like. He sleep.
He knocked out with his mouth open, slobbing. He deep sleep.
Deep sleep. When you vote individuals in office, we don't think about these things. And we continue to vote for them. 30, 40, 50 years, bro.
Yeah.
And black folks who've been voting got some blame to take from that.
True.
Because we still vote for them.
True.
I won't vote for them no more because even in our election last, I wrote in stuff.
Yeah.
I wrote it in. Black crime did.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We gotta start doing stuff safe. Because guess what? At the end of the day, I don't care what these folks say to you when they get in your churches, in these community meetings. Voting is like money to them.
Mm-hmm.
The word says the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil.
Mm-hmm.
The love of the vote
Yeah.
is the root of all kinds of evil. Don't nothing else matter to them but the vote.
They wouldn't spend millions of dollars on the black vote alone. They
Yeah.
spend millions of dollars.
Yes, sir. So let me show you. I didn't take my vote away.
Right.
Then they'll start shaking their boots. I don't care what they say to you in these meetings.
Mm-hmm.
They lying.
Mm-hmm. Miss My Dreamworth said again, I agree with Alan if I'm being politically correct, but I really feel we should all lock up and handle it when it comes to, I guess, to our black men. They should be protected at all costs. I like that statement.
Yeah.
Black people don't know their power. Tired of the scared mindset. Also, if the officer been in the force 30 years, check his files. I'm sure there will be a pattern of incidents. You're 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
More time you check them files now. Check them files.
Yep.
Daddy, we'll check the file, and
should never been on the police.
that's a good point because we'll check the files of. They check the files of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else. Check your file. Your credit follow you.
Yeah, you can't buy something with credit back.
Your grades from high school follow you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Your criminal record follow you. When you ain't pay no your apartment, that all that follow you. You got bad credit and you got stuff on your credit from when you were 18 follow you. But for some reason,
this ain't follow nobody. Come on, bro. Enough is enough. And see, I would say this to the black leaders out there. Because y'all won't stand. Y'all causing a lot of this food.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's gonna happen? One day, black folks gonna get tired, Jim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One day, it's not a word that you're gonna be able to tell black people to calm them down. And what's gonna happen? One day, Nat Turner gonna show up. And then everything you said about us, we're gonna make it true.
Yeah, facts.
Keep playing with black folks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep playing with them.
It's my dream where it said the only thing that changed was the iPhone camera and the body cam is new technology, but it's been a pattern.
But guess what? The funny part about it, you see, law enforcement, you saw what happened in Arizona. I like what she just said. They passed a law nowadays against the law to record the police within 8 or 10 feet of them. Yeah, they gonna try to stop you from recording the police, bro. They would rather stop you from recording the police doing wrong than holding the police accountable. Ain't that some mess?
That's crazy.
Ain't that some mess?
That's crazy.
Man, you got to be kidding me.
That's
man.
crazy. I should have worn my shades today because I asked
They
them.
blind.
They blind,
They
man.
blind, bro. They blind.
Blind.
They don't care. They see you. They just don't care.
Either
bro.
they blind or they don't care.
They don't care, MJ.
I'm leaning more towards they don't care.
They don't care. They never care. They never care. But
Like
I
you-
want to see what this generation 10 years from now gonna
Yeah,
do.
and like
They
you
gonna
always,
tell a lot of junk.
like you said, yeah, you can't change it. You can't change the heart. You got to change the letter of the law.
You got to change because, yo, look, I can spend 30, I can talk to you every day. And if you disagree with me, your heart will not, your mindset won't change.
Mm-hmm.
But you change the law. If it's an accountability that comes with your mindset, if you want to be in this world, survive in this world, you're going to change. You're going to change how
Mhm.
you feel.
That you're 100% right. Because I take it on a lighter note, and I ain't gonna mention my cousin name on here, but I've been trying to tell him that Tom Brady is the GOAT of quarterbacks for so long. It don't matter what happened. Tom Brady could go win 8 more rings.
Cuz said, he said if Tom Brady go to the playoffs, he'll call him to go. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. He still got to go.
So it don't matter
It
what.
doesn't, something that just don't matter what you do. And that's what racist white people are, man.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Jim Crow, not Jim Crow, but Jim Clark,
Mhm.
before he died,
And Selma.
in Selma,
If y'all don't know, that
racist
was the sheriff,
He
sheriff
said
police.
that if he can do it all over again,
Yep.
it's on his deathbed.
On his he would do the same thing on his
to black
deathbed.
people, on his deathbed.
This the guy now. This the guy that
Come on,
was
man.
putting the tear gas and enforcing the horseback ride, beating with the billy clubs, knocking people down the courthouse steps, and putting the dogs on them and the water hoses on the black people and all of. This is the same guy now.
Same mindset. So if that don't change, but what will have changed? What changed? Let it alone.
Let alone.
Black folk got a right to vote, man.
And the stage say all of this is true. A big issue lies with the mental health community as well. All too many times, these victims are having a crisis, increasing the number of social workers, drug counselors, and MH experts, mental health experts. And she also said, and allowed them to assist in these calls would greatly cut down on these shootings as well. Well, we could talk about when you say the shootings, you talking about the mass shootings, you talking about the shootings against amongst each other. I don't think it's I don't know. Most of our shootings, are they coming from mental health patients? I don't know. I don't know.
That coming from mindset of want to be good. Somebody mess with
Yeah.
their they click and all that,
But I do agree.
But what I would say, a lot of the officers when they approach a lot of these young men who are mentally ill, they don't know what to do. Me and my brother can talk about this because we have a brother who is schizophrenic. We understand the mental illness spectrum.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we as the black community and black families don't like to talk about this. But my mama brought it to my attention. She said, when are y'all going to kind of talk about that, about what goes on in our family? And my thing was, no, I didn't know that y'all would feel comfortable at first.
And that's the right.
But she said, no, Alan, you should talk about it.
Okay.
And so
I don't mean to cut you off, but I remember Oren said when we talked about mental health, he wanted to be on, and and I thought about it, but like I said, because that's our brother at the same time. It's mom and dad's son. So you never want to kind of cross that boundary until they give you the okay. But yes, and I agree with Anastasia when she says many of these victims are having a crisis.
That's right.
So a lot of the times they are sending the wrong people to these incidents.
Yeah.
and and she said the I guess the killings amongst black people getting killed, and you're more right in that instance. I don't think it's more the mental health patients that's killing each other, the ones with the mental health issues that's killing it. It's more of the ego, the poverty, and we trying to be hood and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? But to the mental health, she's 100% right. A lot of the times they'll send the police at these situations, and they are not trained properly to handle someone under those mental conditions. Right. Right.
We had an incident like that with our brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my questions was, well, do y'all have anyone who specializes in mental health
Mm-hmm.
and can negotiate some type of conversation?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And got patience.
Right.
Not someone that's going to come in here and bring force, because they're just going to put gasoline on the fire.
The gas on the fire, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And we won't put emphasis. This is where, bro, I have to go back to the church.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the church has failed, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we failed.
That's true.
We've become a people to depend on law enforcement for everything, when law enforcement should be the last resort.
And let's be honest too, when you say that, and I know we over time, but it's needed. When you say that a lot, and one thing I do know is when you had a mental, a young man, a young lady with mental illness, when you had the church, the community there to help you in times of need, then what that did was it caused a feeling of ease for the parents.
That's right.
See, now it's almost like, because the church ain't helping, so now the parents feel like they're fighting this alone.
That's right.
And yeah, it's.
I got to say this, man, and I really want people. And I know we talk about the white woman and the black woman choosing independence and stuff, but I really want to be honest right here to all of us as black people. What we did, don't matter how it happened, but what we did, we allowed the government, the system, to break the structure of black people down. Our structure was so tight,
Right.
in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s,
Right.
in the mid-70s.
Right.
But what happened, and it was done on purpose.
Right.
And we bit the bait. Like you cast your fishing pole out there, and they ain't putting no little worm on it, they put another fish on there. And when they threw it out there, and we bit the bait, bruh. And what happened was we allowed for the infection to come in the black community. We can talk about the woman, all that, the man, all that. No, let's be honest. Our structure is gone.
Yes, sir.
Our way of life, our culture, our way of discipline, our kids, the way we raised our kids, the way we understood it to the community. Now you can't say nothing to your little bad kids. Our way of living was infected, and it crumbled us. And we got to get back to that. The church has always been a buffer between the black family and the community. The church ain't that buffer anymore. And it's now that we have put the black people in a place that we're depending on the system, who never had our best interests at heart, to handle things that we think that's gonna fall, and the outcome is gonna be at our best interest at heart.
And it's
That's
not.
got to be insane.
And it's not because they realize couldn't break them with slavery, couldn't break them with this, we couldn't break them with segregation. They came out of everything, and they still intact. So we got to break them some way. So what do we do?
Figured out a way. They figured a way, and we have not gained our structure back, Jay. See, this is all about structure. We fall because we have no structure in life. It's almost like if you want to lose some weight, what type of structure you got to bring in? You got to bring first of all, you got to work out, and you got to bring a good healthy meals in your life.
Right.
You got to have some type of structure that's going to keep you on pace every day. What I can eat, what I can't eat, when I'm going to eat this and that, when I'm going to fast and this and that, and you're going to start seeing yourself lose weight because you put your body on a structural plan.
Correct.
So why we feel like our community is going to survive without some type of structural plan that would keep us on pace? And our grandfathers and fathers, they had
it, man.
But someone dropped all.
Yeah. Facts, man.
And we got to get back to that, bro.
Mhm.
That's the only way. We talk about reparation. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about a lot of things that will benefit people individually. But we're only going to be as strong as our structure as a black people in a black community,
Mhm.
in the structures of black family. Not, and guess what, bro? And when I mean black family all the time, I'm not just talking about mother and father
Mhm.
in the home.
Right.
Remember, L.B. Reese came from a dysfunctional home, but he had structure. But
Mhm.
guess what? His mama allowed the men in the community to discipline him. See, I understand we have mistakes, we make mistakes, and we create dysfunction. But I'm talking about the community together, not individually. If you're a single mother and got kids, let them men around them kids, them coaches and stuff, discipline them kids.
Correct.
Don't say it's my child, I got it.
Mhm.
No, bring some structure in his life.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Stacey, the black family unit is definitely under attack all of the time. They don't want us together. They do this in many ways, especially by removing the man from the home.
Well, man,
Men,
structure, bro.
men typically bring more structure within the home.
They do.
Yeah, you're right. She said typically, so that means not all the time. So you're 100% right. 100% right.
And we got to do that, man. We got to stop looking at each other false. You know, I know we talk, we laugh.
Yeah.
About the black one, but my question to the black community: where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here?
That's right.
Let's pick up these pieces and get these Lego blocks and build it back up.
It's a lot of things and you know what it is, and I can say this and I'll be transparent. Today I'm going through something. If everybody know I got a son. He'll be 12 in December. And today me and his mother had a disagreement. So I usually get him every other weekend. So he's getting older, so he hanging out with his friend. He'll be 12. So he said, well, he didn't want to come this weekend. No, I have no problem with that. I understand that. But then she comes in and says, well, then ask him, comes in and says, well, let's just do this. Let's just do every 3 weekends instead of 2 out the month. Now, already I had told her I want to get him more than 2 weekends out of the month. Now she's saying not every other weekend, so let's do 3. So I said, so you talking about 12? You talking about 12 times a year? And so I pretty much said I am strongly disagreeing, not agreeing with that. But I said that to say this, and I think we'll work it out. Whatever I have to do, I'll work it out. But I said this to say this just to piggyback on what you're saying. Sometimes the system that they have in place, they have a lot of strongholds on certain things to reduce certain power in areas that the power or the balance needs to be there.
That's right.
And to elaborate, what I'm saying is that's why I said I push for, and it is not to say that we need to strip mothers from power, but I push for when the child is born, automatic DNA test. Then it'll stop those fathers when the child get 18, he ain't mine. And I push for automatic visitation, because just like you come and you automatic child support, put a balance in the life. So then when we have a difference of opinion, it's something that'll hold us together. So even in our dysfunction, like you said, granddaddy, he came from dysfunction, but the world has changed now. So even within the dysfunction that quote unquote me and her created, we had a child out of wedlock. Even within that dysfunction, something will hold us together to keep up when we having disagreements. And I think that the system has not put things in place like that on purpose, because why? They want to keep us at odds.
And see, if that was, I can see now if that was FD's mother. You know, FD didn't know his dad. But let's just put great grandmama in that point.
Right.
The mother of your child. During that time, I don't care what the child said.
And that's what I said. I said I told her that. I said it's not his decision.
That's right. It wouldn't matter.
I said he's 11. Now he 18, 19.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I get that.
That's right.
He's 11.
He's 11.
It ain't that he ain't that he ain't.
They had structure and they understood structure. Hold on. why is this even a conversation? It would say you're going to your dad's house and this you're gonna get knocked in the mouth and
and,
Kill me with it.
and what I said, oh, because I think he wanted to go to round one or something with his friends. Cool, I'm with that. It just so happened this the weekend with dad, and he know his dad. He know, oh yeah, I'm cool with that. I want you to have a social life because that helps you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as his mother, you supposed to be like, okay, you didn't go this week, but you going next weekend because it's showing him. I don't care what you got going on. Your dad is just as important as because if it was something over at his house where he stays at, if it was something important for them to do, I guarantee you, round one wouldn't have been in the equation.
What should have happened? The mother should have said, "Call your dad." That's it. That's it.
Oh, you ain't going? You want to go to round one? Call your
Call
dad.
your dad.
See what he say.
See what he said. And
Y'all
let
work it
him
out.
Explain. And say, well, Dad, I want to go to round one, blah, 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 blah. And then let you make the decision. What's up?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or I
go.
should come from round one, when you're done and pick you up.
Don't
Yeah.
insert yourself, and then what
That's
happens?
right.
You insert yourself in it, and then what will happen is 5-6 years down the line when he out of control, come get your son.
Can't get it.
But then you took away time with,
My approach to him cannot be trying to be forceful.
and see, and that is what it is. It's not saying she a bad person, but it is what happens is the control mechanism is so lopsided that nothing can hold you accountable when you at odds with somebody. It's just like a marriage. When I don't care what we going through, we got to live in this same house.
Yeah.
So guess what? The marriage holds us accountable to work certain things out. If at the end goal we want to stay in this and we want this structure.
Back
Man.
in the day, man, I must say accountability used to be the word. People used to love to see that, man, even through dysfunction, we create some type of life and for our kids to be functional and that this work. You know what I'm saying? Man,
Right.
The church took pride in saying, you know what, even though some of these kids might not have had a father or this and that, but guess what? I had the church. I hear so many stories about, men like, look at Mr. Butler in the church.
Right.
Charles Johnson.
Right.
Ebenezer,
Right.
Elf Granddad, and Mr. Perkins.
Right,
I
man.
hear so many kids, so many young people I maintain talking about dad and how his dad died when he was 7.
Right.
And he never, missed a father figure in his life
Right.
because he had FD,
Right.
Mr. Butler, Mr.
Right.
Perkins, these
Uh-huh.
men around him that
Mhm.
showed him how to be a man. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? So
Right.
they would never replace his father, but they had some type of insight in his life that
Exactly.
can direct him in the right way.
Exactly.
See, we have lost that now, bro.
Mhm.
Because we don't want nobody saying that to our kids. And so I think about who Maintain is today.
Right.
Dr. Anthony
Darrington.
who he is because of that structure, bro.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
And he said it.
And he said it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We look at our Godfather.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The church Ebenezer was a place where men were men.
Right. Right.
Men were men.
Right. Exactly, bro.
And they ain't mind getting up on you. And guess what? The woman didn't mind them doing it.
They'll encourage
They
you.
encourage you.
Get him.
They'll go to church. He been acting up.
Get him.
Hey.
Get him. I gotta read Miss My Dream World. She spins stuff over here. Correct. That's why I said black men should be protected at all costs first, because the system knows a black man and black woman together is powerful in raising their children with family values. If they remove the father, then attack the mother, then remove the church, the community, neighbors, village, remove that from our lives, and it's exactly what they want. And most, not all families feed into this destruction. Stop fighting each other and believe we are strong. We are stronger together. Kids got to see a united front, 100%.
That's very important.
And Anastasia said, true, that's what my ex and I do. My son is 15, and when it's something happening on his weekend, he has to directly communicate with his father.
Right.
We too have a blended family. I understand how the non-custodial parent can feel at odds and not involved in decision-making matters. We try not to function in that dysfunction at all, if possible. 100%. And that's pretty much
That's right.
And I'll be honest, I have a, I don't like to say stepdaughter, Jada, who her father's in her life. And it's been times I have went to bat for him
That's right.
because I can identify
That's
with
right.
that.
That's your job.
That's and I've said, nah, you know, let this bro, he probably meant, and I'll work it out
Right.
because I understand how important that is to have a father, man. And so
Very
you
important.
the community, man, it's just we got some things we need to work out, but I think if some of the things is system related, but some of the things we got to get together ourselves, man.
And some of it just ourselves, we unforgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Never have a unforgiving heart. A lot of men and women can't get on one accord because the reason is because of the reason why they're not together and they have a child.
And they have a child.
And no one ever gets over it.
No one ever gets over.
And that's at the bottom. When you get to the bottom of the barrel, that's
Mhm.
what it go down to.
Right. And I've told her, and I've said this before. I said I'm trying as hard as I can, you know, to coexist. Don't let my son get old. When he gets older, and you tell me your daddy wasn't there, he didn't try. I even tell my son that.
Mhm.
I said, now, daddy gonna always try. He gonna always try. Because what I don't want is to cause any friction between him and his
That's
mother.
right. You don't.
But I wholeheartedly don't. But what I want to integrate into him on this side,
Mhm.
I'm doing everything that I can within my power.
That's right. And I would say this to a lot of women because I don't have your struggle, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't.
Right.
So a lot of things I can't relate, and I thank God I can't because of
Mhm.
my temperament.
Yeah.
I have a Rottweiler temperament.
Right.
You know, you have more of a cool golden retriever.
Right.
You'll bite when necessary.
Right.
You know, you'll think before you bite.
Right.
Me ain't thinking.
Right.
So I thank God that I've been blessed with the situation I have.
Right.
But what I would say, all jokes aside, what I would say is this: is that I want women to think, don't put your sons in a predicament to grow up and say, "Dog, I see who my mama was," because they were a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That would kind of align. That woman might be like his mother was, and now he's gonna learn a lot about his mama
Right.
by the woman he's with.
Right.
And you never want to look up and allow your child to see you in a different stage of his life.
Man.
And then now you have an issue, or the relationship with your child might be in trouble because now he see you for who you really are when he was young. So that's why forgiveness and moving on wholeheartedly is very important, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's
100%.
very important.
100%.
Very important.
And I
man.
think that speaks to the fact, you know, I don't think that completely in her mind and she ain't really, but it, you know, it's something we grown, we got a child, we got to work it out. It is what it is. I mean, it's no point of doing all of that, but you know, I'm being hopeful that we'll you know, get it together. Angel said it matters if you continue to speak with him. My son loves his father. It was heartbreaking when he was there close. Even though my husband has been around since he was 2, is his biological father still his father? I know we done went over time, but y'all been hanging with us, man. That's why we still do it. But what we gonna do? We gonna end it right now. I know bro probably got something else to say before we go. I will say once again, book the tour, get the book. History on the Apparel is under construction. We still working on that. My bro been talking to them folks 4-5 days out the week, man, trying to get History on the Apparel together. But we appreciate y'all patience. We appreciate y'all showing all the love to the podcast, man. It is growing organically. That's the best way to grow. It is growing organically, best way to grow, and we appreciate the love and the support, the continual support, man. Y'all showing out, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I just want to say before we leave, man, just keep grinding. You know, I always say this every once in a while. I get on here and I just want to speak the truth. What's in the depth of your heart. If you're a business owner, man, entrepreneur, a person in school, you know, welcome to Judas part of your life. When I say welcome to Judas part of your life, I always go back to what I believe in. And what happened was, without Judas, Christ is never on the cross. So understand, it's through your hard times, it's through the struggle, it's through taking some hits to get you to your destination. And what I must say, the destination is great, man. So my grandfather used to say this, right? He said, after the night, there comes a day. He said, do not throw the Hey, that's all I got to say.
Hey man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Join in with us next week at the Lineage Podcast. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.